This is Kinda Murdery Season 1, Ghost Towns of the Mojave Desert, presented by Criminal Content.
You're rocketing down the 15 freeway between Vegas and LA. It's a scorched wasteland of Airstream meth labs and unrelenting heat. This is no place you'd want to stop. But the car's on fumes, so you take the exit and you pull up to the gas station. It's abandoned, a concrete canvas that some local Michelangelos turned into the Sistine Chapel spray paint penis. A grave marker for every crazy story lost in the desert sands. These are the ghost towns of the Mojave Desert. And this is Kinda Murdery. Hey everybody, and welcome to Kinda Murdery Season 1, Ghost Towns of the Mojave Desert. I'm your host, Zevon Odelberg. Thanks for deciding to be here. Today, we are joined by actor Fran Kranz. Fran, you got a village story you want to tell us?
Well, we stayed in a bed and breakfast, right? And this was like kind of Chad's Ford area outside of Philadelphia, right? We were in Pennsylvania where he shoots all of his movies, and which was amazing to work with that cast and stay in one bed and breakfast all together. So we kind of all lived in the same little house. The biggest stars had their own little cottages separated, but like we all had dinner together and stuff. And they claimed it was haunted. The owners of the bed and breakfast. So I kind of forget the details, but it was like a Civil War era ghost. And I remember the funny thing was that one of them really lived, or sort of most like frequented the room at the very top where the actor Michael Pitt was staying. And if you know like who Michael Pitt is, it's just kind of funny. He was in the haunted room, and it was like the attic, so it was one of those, or the top of it. So it was not like a great room to have. So it was all kind of funny. He was up there, but I do remember, because I kind of, for whatever reason, the schedule, I remember having quite a bit of sort of alone time in that bed and breakfast and going up there, and it was a creepy place. Like it definitely felt like I didn't like being in that room. Again, really funny that Michael Pitt had to like sleep there, but it was definitely kind of creepy, but not a sort of kind of murdery way, like a good old fashioned 19th century like romantic kind of ghostly way, like Nathaniel Hawthorne or something. It was really
like
it was
actually
really cool.
Scary.
Yeah, and actually sort of scary. Yeah,
not something that an asshole can easily make fun of. Like it actually chilled your bones.
Yes, yeah. Totally.
So, Fran, Adam is a huge fan of Cabin in the Woods, and you might be the killer, as we all are. And I know there are a couple questions he's just been dying to ask you, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to him. Take it away, Adam.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say, between Cabin in the Woods and then also You Might Be the Killer, you've been in two horror comedies, but ones that actually specifically seek to sort of deconstruct the genre. So, yeah, one, what is it that draws you to this kind of story? And two, what is it like to have been both a would-be victim and then also be the killer?
Yeah, that's a great question. I liked that stuff growing up, and I always liked horror films and action movies. I remember going to video stores and looking at the back of the boxes for like the craziest looking film, like the goriest stuff, or like I was into that, all that kind of like blood and guts and horror, sci-fi, and also comedy. And I typically kind of that's sort of how I get cast a lot, and especially in film and TV, is in sort of a more comic role. So I guess they've naturally come together, just kind of like my own interests. It would be fantastic to play like a kind of a dark killer, a serial killer, something like truly kind of, a little more dramatic and heavier, because I think, and You Might Be the Killer, it's like this sweet sort of, goofy guy who sort of gets possessed, right? So It's like a little different, but it was definitely fun to sort of get behind that mask and play like the torment of it all. Like that was really sort of fun and exciting. And that was just a cool kind of fun movie to be on. I mean, that is very murdery. No offense to Louisiana, but that whole state is kind of murdery. Let's be honest. And we were. I mean, that really fits your definition. I mean, like New Orleans is an amazing city, but it's like that's like a garish place. Like I'm just thinking of like your actual definitions. But no, we were outside. We were much further away. We were in Lafayette, and like I would drive to and from set, from the hotel to set, at these very odd hours, like dusk and dawn, basically, in the sort of outskirts, out in the kind of, it wasn't quite bayou, but you know what I'm saying? It was, Louisiana country, and it's really kind of back roads and creepy homes, kind of cool, beautiful, but like a lot of them sort of, and they were all like had a kind of murdery quality, but I will like never forget the final sort of road. It was dirt road, the last sort of house before we got to the set. The last house was like, it's not a mobile home, but what are those houses, the homes that are like literally carried down the highway? Like they're like houses on stilts or whatever. It was as if it was just dropped there in a field. Like there was no sort of driveway. I mean, it was like, it's like, obviously like there's poor areas in the state and whatnot. And it was just this house placed in like a field, no driveway. And it was never like connected to the ground, so the front door was like 4 or 5 feet off the ground or something on these kind of old stilts. Like obviously like no real plumbing, and like and I remember there was like a kiddie pool like out front on the sort of in the field, like a few feet just kind of lingering there. And every now and then I'd see like this young kid out on the front like door stoop, like his legs hanging down, just like sitting out like smoking cigarettes. And and sometimes that'd be at like 5 p.m. and sometimes that was at like 5 a.m. And I just was like,
how old was the kid?
It was hard to tell. I never got like 9? A totally good look at him, but yeah, he struck me as like early teen kind of thing, like young, pretty young. But yeah, that place that house really stuck with me. And then the set itself was it was not abandoned. It was just not in use. An all girls summer camp, which is like, just make it co-ed, like just why make it like a bigger target? Like why all girls, like
don't put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak.
And like that had a sort of creepy vibe to it. And because people ask, like, is it scary to make horror films? And generally, no. If film sets are boring and not glamorous or anything, it's generally no. But I remember that, we'd be out in the woods and they'd have the little ATVs that would take you back to sort of base camp or whatever. And sometimes you just didn't want to wait or whatever. You wanted to take a walk. But then next thing you knew, you were in the sort of like woods of Louisiana with these like abandoned looking cabins of an all girls summer camp. And, that definitely got really scary. There'd be times I was like, next time I'm waiting for the ATV. Yeah.
The fact that it was an all-girls summer camp just intensified the feeling where you were just like, I do not belong here. This place is not me.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, but it was super scary. But yeah, I'm supposed to work with some of that team on another movie that's just like a very like COVID sort of storyline of someone kind of losing their mind in a bunker and like a fallout shelter. So that could be fun. That's called Half-Lives.
Thanks to everybody for taking the time to listen to us, and for Adam Volrich, Sean Christensen, and the always awesome Fran Kranz. I'm Zevon Odelberg, and this has been Kinda Murdery.
This is Kinda Murdery, Ghost Towns of the Mojave Desert, presented by Criminal Content. You can find us online at kindamurdery.com and on all social media at Kinda Murdery. Email us at contact@kindamurdery.com. Listen to us on all your favorite podcasting apps: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, Google, and more. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and tell your friends about the show.